Have you ever seen a quarterback walk into an NFL city and instantly become the most talked about player on the roster before even taking a snap? Well, that's exactly what's happening in Cleveland right now. The Browns have found themselves right at the center of offseason headlines, and surprisingly, it's not because of a blockbuster trade or a dramatic coaching change, it's because of their incredibly crowded quarterback room. And at the heart of all this chaos is a name that's sparking debate everywhere, Shedeur Sanders. Now, for those of you who haven't been keeping up with the Browns' offseason moves, let's catch you up real quick. Cleveland brought in 4 new quarterbacks who weren't even part of their lineup in 2024. That's right, 4. Kenny Pickett, veteran Joe Flacco, rookie Dillon Gabriel, and the much-discussed Shedeur Sanders. And while logic might suggest a seasoned vet or a proven prospect would steal the spotlight, it's Sanders who's capturing all the attention, even though it's pretty unlikely he'll be the starter when Week 1 rolls around. And that brings us to a comparison that's making waves. Sports commentator Jason Whitlock recently sparked conversation by likening Shedeur Sanders to none other than Tim Tebow. Yeah, that Tim Tebow. The college football legend who wore his heart on his sleeve, won national championships at Florida, and briefly lit up the NFL with the Denver Broncos. But Whitlock's take wasn't necessarily a compliment. He quipped that the Browns are turning Shedeur into a gold chain wearing Tim Tebow, and warned it could blow up in their faces. The core of Whitlock's argument is pretty simple. He believes Shedeur isn't necessarily the most gifted quarterback on the Browns roster, yet he's being treated like a superstar. The media can't stop covering him, fans can't stop talking about him, and every move he makes seems to fuel a fresh batch of headlines. It's not so much about how Sanders plays, it's about the spectacle that follows him. Now, to be fair, even if Shedeur isn't the next elite QB talent, he'd have to perform pretty poorly to match some of Tebow's infamous NFL struggles. But one thing no one can deny is the media storm surrounding both players feels eerily similar. Remember back in 2011, when Tebow led the Broncos to the postseason and pulled off that unforgettable playoff win against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the wild card round? Critics questioned his throwing mechanics, his decision-making, and his long-term potential. Yet when he delivered a postseason victory, all that outside noise vanished, at least for a moment. So here's the big question. If Shedeur Sanders can deliver a clutch performance like Tebow did, if he can step up in a big moment and lead the Browns to a playoff win, will anyone really care about the media circus that follows him? Or will Cleveland fans rally around him just like Denver did for Tebow? Because in the NFL, one thing's always true: winning cures everything. And as for now, the comparisons will continue, the debates will rage on, and all eyes will stay locked on Shedeur Sanders as he tries to carve out his own story in Cleveland. Is he the next Tim Tebow? Maybe. Maybe not. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be a wild ride watching it all unfold. What if I told you the Cleveland Browns might be planning one of the most unexpected quarterback moves in recent NFL history? Yup, buckle up, because the drama surrounding the Browns' quarterback room is heating up as we inch closer to the 2025 NFL season, and it's turning into one of the most unpredictable storylines in the league. Fans, insiders, and analysts are all leaning in to see how this wild situation unfolds, because it feels like anything could happen in Cleveland. After an already eventful offseason where the Browns made headlines by trading for former Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett and reuniting with veteran Joe Flacco, a hero in Cleveland for his clutch performances last season, things took an even more surprising turn. The front office didn't stop there. When the 2025 NFL Draft arrived, Cleveland went all in on quarterbacks, selecting not one but 2 rookie passers, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. It was a bold move that left fans scratching their heads, wondering how this crowded quarterback room would shake out before Week 1. Most people assumed that the Browns would have to move off at least one of these players before the start of the regular season. After all, carrying 4 quarterbacks on the active roster in today's NFL is practically unheard of. But according to longtime Browns insider Mary Kay Cabot, that might not be the case at all. In a recent report, Cabot revealed there's a very real possibility all 4 quarterbacks could survive roster cutdown day and make the team's final 53-man roster. Cabot explained that the Browns plan to give all 4 quarterbacks a legitimate shot to compete for the backup and future starting roles. The team will likely keep the competition alive at least through their 2 joint practices with the Philadelphia Eagles leading up to the preseason game scheduled for August 16th. And when the final roster decisions arrive on August 27th, there's a decent chance that the Browns might hold on to every single one of them. One major reason this is even possible comes down to salary cap management. The Browns are currently using just $7.6 million in cap space on their quarterback room outside of Deshaun Watson. That financial flexibility makes it feasible for the front office to carry extra quarterbacks through the season without crippling the rest of the roster. It also gives the team a rare opportunity to thoroughly evaluate their young talent while still having reliable veteran options like Pickett and Flacco in the mix. Now here's where things get even more interesting. If the Browns manage to stay in the playoff hunt after 8 games, Cabot says they'll roll with whichever quarterback gives them the best chance to win, putting postseason hopes above rookie development. But if Cleveland finds itself out of contention or teetering on the edge, the front office could pivot and shift focus to developing the rookies, potentially parting ways with a veteran to clear room for Sanders and Gabriel. No matter how it plays out, Cleveland has set itself up for one of the most intriguing quarterback situations in the entire league. Heading into the 2026 season, the Browns are guaranteed to have at least 2 quarterbacks under contract in Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. If either one of these rookies flashes enough potential, or if Kenny Pickett seizes the job and runs with it, Cleveland could comfortably move forward with their guy. And if none of these 4 quarterbacks cement themselves as the future, General Manager Andrew Berry will have a powerful fallback option with 2 first-round picks in next year's draft. Ammunition to chase a franchise quarterback if needed. So, Browns fans, get ready for what might be one of the wildest quarterback battles we've seen in years. Will it be the steady veteran presence of Flacco, the chip-on-his-shoulder mentality of Pickett, the raw upside of Sanders, or the dual-threat excitement of Gabriel? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. Cleveland's quarterback room is must-watch drama this season. Are you ready for one of the most surprising quarterback stories of the NFL offseason? Because what's happening in Cleveland right now might be one of the wildest quarterback situations we've seen in years. The Cleveland Browns are entering the summer with not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 quarterbacks battling it out for a place on the roster heading into the 2025 season. And what's even crazier is that a respected team insider is now predicting that the Browns might actually keep all 4 of them, defying what everyone assumed was a clear-cut decision. Let's break it down because this story is heating up fast. Right now, the Browns' quarterback room is absolutely stacked. You've got veteran Joe Flacco, former Steeler Kenny Pickett, rookie Dillon Gabriel, and another rising rookie, Shedeur Sanders. Usually, NFL teams carry 2 or maybe 3 quarterbacks on their regular season roster. That's just how it's always been done. But this year in Cleveland, the plan might be different. Most fans and analysts expected at least one of these guys to get traded or cut before the regular season kicks off. However, team reporter Mary Kay Cabot dropped a bombshell when she recently called it likely that the Browns will hold on to all 4 quarterbacks to start the season. Now, from a financial standpoint, it actually makes sense. Cabot explained that thanks to low base salaries and cap numbers for all 4 players, the Browns can afford to stash them on the roster without causing a major dent in their salary cap. In total, all 4 quarterbacks combined would cost the Browns around $7.6 million in cap space, a manageable number especially since they're still shelling out big money to injured quarterback Deshaun Watson. And from a roster building angle, it adds another layer of strategy for Cleveland. Cabot also gave us a glimpse into how the competition is shaping up. She reported that the more experienced veterans, Flacco and Pickett, currently have an edge in the QB1 competition, while Gabriel and Sanders are developing behind them. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Even if trade offers come in for one of the rookie quarterbacks, Cabot believes the Browns will likely ignore them. That's right. The team seems committed to holding on to both Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, keeping them in-house to develop, at least for now. And while this might sound like a rock-solid plan, there's still a chance things could shift as the season unfolds. Cabot noted that if the Browns find themselves out of playoff contention later in the year, they would undoubtedly consider moving a veteran quarterback and giving the younger guys some valuable playing time before the trade deadline hits. It's a classic risk versus reward scenario for Cleveland. Of course, if a team makes them an irresistible offer for one of their veterans, especially around roster cutdown day on August 27th, the Browns would at least entertain the idea. And if an injury happens somewhere else in the league before November 4th, the Browns might be tempted to deal a quarterback then too. According to Cabot, the most likely candidate to be moved in that situation would be Joe Flacco, especially if the team feels confident in their top 2 guys at the time. What's even more intriguing is that despite having so many quarterbacks under contract, the Browns are reportedly still keeping a close eye on next year's quarterback draft class. That suggests they might not be fully convinced about any long-term solution just yet. This current group could just be a stopgap as they continue searching for their future franchise leader. So for Cleveland fans, the next few months are going to be absolutely fascinating to watch. And that's where things stand right now. A quarterback room filled with 4 very different players, a front office keeping their options open, and a fan base holding its breath to see what bold move comes next. Could we see all 4 quarterbacks make the Week 1 roster? Will one get traded before the deadline? Or could the Browns shock everyone with a blockbuster move none of us see coming? Buckle up, because the Cleveland Browns quarterback saga is far from over. If you're as curious about how this unfolds as we are, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a major Browns update. And drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think should be QB1 in Cleveland this season? Should they keep all 4 or cut ties with a veteran? I want to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video, where we'll break down the next big NFL headline you won't believe.